Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast. Now, this is a very, very special day. We're going to talk with a media member who actually gets to vote. But first, OG's Flavoring Friday. This is 1000% Ben One White's favorite day of the week for a variety of different reasons. The fruits and the creams, as we know. Welcome to the PHNX Wildcats show. Shout out to OG's Brands, the official sponsor of Flavoring Fridays. Head on over to ogsbrands.com to see their full lineup, including their newest gummies, the OG's Naturals, the Big OGs, and to find out where you can purchase. Ben One White might see you there. All right, now, joined by Jason Scheer. I am merely Mike Luke. Hello, Jason Scheer.
Hello, Michael. How are you?
All right, we got a lot to get to today. We got a celebrity. We got a Big 12 celebrity in the house, and it is not me. So I'll let you guess who that person is. I think they had Drake recruiting Will. Well, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Do you really want Drake around right now? Is
that pick real? I almost feel like that pick wasn't real.
Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know, man. Drake's image has taken a real hit these past. He's now deleted all of his diss songs. Sometimes, let's see here. All right. Now we got a lot to get to this. My weekend is sponsored by OGs. Okay. Now we've got a lot to get to this show, but I, first of all, have a beef to pick with Jason Scheer. A very big beef. Jason Scheer messages me as a Big 12 media person, and he says, I am going to pick Kansas State to win it, to which I immediately called him and said, what are you doing? This is true, Scheer.
Yes, this is true.
All right.
I have never put in. Well, go ahead.
All right. And so then he goes on this whole thing, and he's clearly been bamboozled by all of the Las Vegas folks. And he's like, oh, Kansas State's the pick to win. And then we will get into what some of Scheer's nuances. But Scheer, make the case as to why you initially were backing a different Wildcat.
So first off, the Big 12 ballot is crazy. I have spent more time on this than I ever did any Pac-12 ballot because I knew most of that off the top of my head and all that. They ask you for offensive linemen. They ask you for a fullback. They ask you for kickers, and like they don't give you choices. Like you got to research. I went back and forth. I told you this on the phone. I wasn't comfortable with anybody at number one. Like you and you made a good point, and I agreed with it that you can look at holes for every single team in the Big 12 in their major issues. The reason I had Kansas State is I just felt that they're well coached. You know what they got. They have a good running game. They're solid defensively. And then I started to look into them more, and I didn't feel comfortable with the quarterback.
As you're looking into them more, as in Mike Luke told me the right way to go, and I followed that path. Is this true?
Yeah, but like I looked at I don't know if we're talking about like every team has a large issue.
Here's my beef with your argument. And it was phooey. It was nonsense. It was poppycock. The big reason why you're like, well, Arizona, you're like, well, who's the second cornerback? Fair question. And you're like, well, we don't know if Malachi Riley's good. We will revisit that here later on in the show. But, Scheer, the big thing, though, and then I said, oh, well, how about Kansas State? You're going with the guy who started one game in his entire career? That is a bigger question mark than who the number 2 cornerback is, Jason Scheer. This is true.
But Noah Fafita, up until last year, had never started.
Well, but are you saying that Avery Johnson is Noah Fafita? Are you going to go on
record? I'm saying there has to be some type of projection in this. There has to be. Arizona has no second corner right now. Mm-hmm. I don't know. For all we know, Demetrius Freeney could come and be awesome. Marquise Killebrew could be awesome. And we're projecting that. You're projecting Malachi Riley to be good, right? Which is fair. But you can't project Malachi Riley to be good and then not project anybody else in the Big 12.
But what's a little bit different, though? A number 2 wide receiver or the starting quarterback? One of these positions is not created equal, Jason.
Yeah, and I get it. I actually, in my final ballot, I'll give you a hint. I'm not giving my final ballot.
We don't need your final ballot. I'm just going to ask you where 4 teams are, and you can just tell me that. It won't be the final ballot, just 4 teams.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, but go ahead. Sorry, I interrupt. I get very excited.
I dropped Kansas State considerably after doing more research on them and what they lost. I didn't feel comfortable in it, and I agree with you. Johnson could be awesome, but it wasn't just Johnson. Like Dylan Edwards, we're making him out to be a really good running back. Giddens is good, but they lost some things, and it's tough. It's tough.
All right. Now, let's. I'm going to ask some teams here. Common Mike W. Very, very excited. All right, Scheer. So you have back in the A. You have Arizona at number 1. True.
Yes, and it's look. I just want to say here, I am not comfortable with my top 5,
Well,
but I don't know if I'm ever gonna. No. Let me say this. I think like in the Pac-12 last year, we knew, right? We knew it was Washington and Oregon, and some people had USC, right? Preseason. I think you're going to see 5 teams get first place votes this year.
all right. I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of love for Arizona. I don't think there's a lot of A backing right now. I do not like this. Now, we got the whole Big 12. Erica L. Day, the great Erica L. Day, out of the shower already. She says, Mike, we got the whole Big 12 saying smelly, rainy Seattle, though huge W all the way around. Yes. Now, let's get back to Arizona here. So you're backing them at number 1. I agree with you entirely. We're going to talk about some of the strengths and the question marks here in a second, the fruits, the creams, all of that stuff. Now, another one that I believe I convinced you to.
You did not. I did not do this.
You don't have ASU at 16?
I do not.
Why? Dude, this is the perfect opportunity.
I know, but I wanted to take this seriously, and Mike, I have him at 14. It's not like a big deal here.
All right, so just move him to 16.
BYU, Houston, and Cincinnati are really bad this year.
I'll still take BYU sight unseen over ASU, as will you.
Really just bad.
All right, now here's what now for the coach of the year. Here's what we need to. Here's where you and I were talking about. We pick ASU to finish last, but we give Dilly the coach of the year.
There's no preseason coach of the year, but Dilly's been nice, so we would vote him.
Yeah. All right. Now, now another one that I think people are losing a little bit on is Mike Van Gundy. Mike Gundy.
First, it's Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Van Gundy.
Yes, Mike Van Gundy. Mike Gundy. People are picking them to finish 9th. Oklahoma State is recession-proof under Mike Gundy. I think Oklahoma State is going to surprise Scheer. Plus, they have a good backfield.
I have them 5th.
Okay.
I have them 5th, and it wouldn't surprise me if they were higher. I'm not a big Alan Bowman guy, who apparently is returning to college again. I don't know if you do that. That's his 7th year.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 7th year.
I didn't know he was back.
I know. 7th year. Ollie Gordon is awesome. Nicholas Marta, the linebacker, is a freak. Their defense wasn't very good last year. I'm not a big fan of Bowman, but their schedule actually isn't bad too. I like Oklahoma State.
All right, now Kansas. Kansas is a very good quarterback. We very, very, very. Is it Jalen Wilson?
Jalen Daniels.
Jalen Daniels is very good.
So I had a deep thought process between Kansas and Utah. And the issue is that if everyone is saying, if you read these power rankings, everyone keeps going back to the health of Jalen Daniels because he was hurt last year. Cam Rising hasn't thrown a football in how long?
Like 3 years.
Right. So
maybe
why
longer.
am I assuming that he's healthy and putting Utah ahead of Kansas because of that?
Right.
Kansas has Devin Neal, the running back. They returned one of the best cornerbacks in Kobe Bryant. That's his name.
Kobe Bryant, very good.
Cobee, not to be confused. In the country, they return him. I have Kansas number 2 in the Big 12.
I like it. And Lance Leopold. Did you know where Lance Leopold has lived in the past?
Crete, Nebraska.
Crete, Nebraska, my friends. Kansas, baby. And you know what? Want to know why this guy is leader of men? He turned down smelly, rainy Seattle. He said, I will have nothing to do with smelly, rainy
let's not let that go to the wayside here. Washington's first choice was not Jed Fish.
Right. It was Lance Leopold.
It was absolutely Lance Leopold.
Yes, and he said, I will not hang out in smelly, rainy Seattle. I will not do this. And that's where, yes, Whitewater, Wisconsin as well. But we only claim Crete, Nebraska on this show. All right, now let's talk a little bit about, again, Utah. Listen, I saw the Utah offense without Cam Rising. I never want to see that again. I do not understand why people are so bullish on Utah because, again, this could be – who was the guy who was at Central Florida, and he was awesome, and they kept saying, oh, well, he's going to be able to come back this year, and he just couldn't. Malachi Milton, was that it?
Mackenzie Milton. But
Mackenzie Milton.
I will say this. That might be there's a few sleeper teams. I think UCF is one of them. Their quarterback now is KJ Jefferson from Arkansas.
They have talent.
Yeah, they have talent. I think Iowa State is being a little underlooked. I didn't realize how many guys returned for Iowa State. Their wide receiver core is really good. The top of the Big 12, I think, is actually getting a little bit, underappreciated.
That's where I was going to go next with this. The Big 12 is not a bad football conference. You always hear these dorks over that are in the Big 10 now. Look at us, dude. We get to play Iowa and Wisconsin or whatever, all those bum schools. Dude, I'm telling you, man, the Big 12 is not bad.
No, like Arizona, Kansas, Utah, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, legitimately good. Then you have West Virginia, UCF. I think the bottom of the conference is really bad, but you could probably say that for most conferences.
Yes. Now, let's talk the all-conference team, my friend.
This was hard.
All right. Now, I helped you pick 6 players right off the top, and Scheer would not do it. I tried to get him to pick Jacob Manu to be the defensive player of the year. You would not do this, Scheer. You stood strong.
No. Yeah, I wasn't going to do that. My biggest thing was the offensive player of the year. I struggled with that.
Scheer, this is where you're trying to be a journalist. You're trying to go the Brian Peterson route, and
come on,
we're in the year 2024. We don't need to do any of this.
Come on, that's tough. That's legitimately.
Noah Fifita is your conference preseason player of the year. Period. Point blank. Boom.
But he won't win it. We agree with that, right?
I
mean, I wound up going with Noah, but he won't get it.
You win with Noah. Good job.
Ollie Gordon is going to get it.
You win with Noah.
I went with Noah.
Yes.
But Ollie Gordon is going to get it.
All right. Now let's talk about the Arizona all-conference players. Well, all right. So you have Noah Fifita as the quarterback. This is true.
Yeah.
Okay. Man,
I am dead serious. If I look at my list, I think the only team without a player is ASU. I'm not even saying that to troll.
Who does Colorado have?
Travis Hunter.
Oh yeah, duh. Try.
Dude, I really I'd have to look at it. I really think. Yeah, I'm looking now. I have my team pulled up. I think ASU is the only team in the conference without a player.
Right. And oh, this is good. This is good. All right, man. So this is
that's not even me trying to be a jerk either. Like, I put a lot of time into this. Like, I couldn't think of what ASU player would make first. It's only first team. I want to clarify that. Mm-hmm. So if they're second team, maybe you dipped into it. This is only first team. So who would I put on?
Right, exactly. So that's kind of where we are at this point. Now let's talk about where we are at with let's talk about now we're T-Mac, Conference Player of the Year, my friend. Conference Player of the Year. Won't get it because he's a wide receiver, but he's an easy one to put in there.
Look, I think he's the best offensive player in the conference, but I don't think he'll win because he's a wide receiver. It's just really hard. I mean, Ollie Gordon's going to put up 1,800 yards. If T-Mac has a great season, that yardage is going to Noah. Quarterbacks are going to win that award most of the time, unless you have like an insane. It's just really hard for running a wide receiver to win that award.
It's very difficult for a wide receiver to win that award, and that's just it's just kind of the way it is. Now let's look at the on the who else from an Arizona perspective. Let's say how about Jonas Sabanea, my friend?
I have
Jonas Sabanea.
Yeah, he's my only O lineman from Arizona. There's some really good ones in the conference, but Jonah was a lock.
Yes, he was a lock, absolutely. And then let's move to the defensive side as well, my friend. Let's move to the defensive side.
Manu and Takari.
Jacob Manu is your conference defensive player of the year.
No, there's no way. He's good, but like Nicholas Martin, I think is a lock. I really do.
All right, yeah, he's really good. I had no clue who he was, but I looked him up. He's very, very good. He's very, very good. And let's see then, Tacario Davis, my friend. Tacario Davis. Let's talk about Tacario Davis. I believe that Tacario Davis should be on your all-conference team. Would you agree?
Yes, I have him. I feel good about it. He was. It's pretty crazy when you think about it that there's a bunch of Arizona players where the first thing I did before I filled out the form was just type them in because I knew they were first team. Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen very often.
Right. Now
I went back, Mike, and I looked at the all Pac-12 team from last year, which, by the way, was all those guys are gone.
Right.
Like, they're just gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, it's an interesting situation. Now, I was looking at it. I don't know who else I can really add to this squad.
I thought about Tyler Luke, but it wound up not being close.
Now, with Dalton Johnson, my friend, that's the only one that I look at. Tacario Davis, very, very good. With Dalton Johnson. So
the problem is there's 5 defensive backs. It's not safeties.
Mhm.
It's just defensive backs. So Takario, Travis Hunter, and Kobe Bryant are locks.
Mhm.
And then I went Jeremiah Cooper at Iowa State and then Caden Jenkins at Baylor. I like Dalton. It's tough.
Right. Now, it is very difficult. Now, let's get back then. So that's where we're going with, though. Your conference player of the year is Noah Fafita. Your defensive conference player of the year is Jacob Manu. This is true. This is true.
No.
All right. But yeah, that's kind of where it is. I think there's about
Jake
6.
Jake on the side said Scadaboo is the only playmaker, and I completely agree. The problem is the Big 12, again, first team.
Got loaded running backs. Yeah.
And that was easy. That's Ollie and Taj Brooks. That was easy.
Right, exactly. So so that's kind of where we're at. All right, now let's talk a little bit then about Malachi Riley, my friends, because we're going to get back to this. Malachi Riley is my breakout performer of the year. For the University of Arizona. You are not as high on Malachi Riley as me, correct?
No, I think your numbers are. I think you're doing what you do in basketball. I think Riley is good.
800 yards, 7 touchdowns.
Mike, you're going almost like Jacob Cowing numbers.
No, Cowing had like 13 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I need to see it.
Right,
which is fair. I like Riley. I think he's talented, but going from not playing to 800 yards is pretty.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah. All right. I'm still going with it, though. I think also he's going to get a lot of single coverage, And I think that that's going to be something that is going to be very, very good because you got T-Mac on the other side. I also think, too, that Riley might be that dude that just needs to be able to take a little bit of time, that just needs to be able to, I don't know. I just like everything about him. And here's the thing about him, too. He gets behind the defense. That is one thing. He was always open.
I like Malachi Riley. You need to see it, right? Like I like Roy Bello.
It's a breakout player.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I was talking about before with projecting, which is really tough because it feels like the media too is projecting certain things from certain teams while ignoring other things. Like we can't talk about Jalen Daniels always being hurt and ignoring Cam Rising, but I watch a lot. I read a lot of power rankings and got some info and all that, and that's what we're doing. Like, why?
Right, exactly. So, all right, that's still what I'm going with. Now, what do you think for Malachi Riley then as far as a projection goes?
I think 600 yards and 5 touchdowns is fair.
All right, so we're basically quibbling over 200 yards and a couple touchdowns.
That's a lot.
I mean, all right. So who's going to take him away? Montana Lamonius Craig? Is that what you're calling for?
No, I think I don't think it's BS when Brennan says they're going to rotate. I think you're going to have a bunch of 300-yard receivers on the team. Right. I think Ray Millo. I think Patterson could get involved. I think, some of the younger guys. I just think they're going to spread the ball out a little bit more than Jed, who only played 3 receivers and 3 to 2.
Would you be surprised? Let me ask you this. Would you be surprised if Malachi Riley emerges, though, as that guy where we're looking at in a year and you're like, that's an NFL player?
No, not at all. He's super talented. Like the physical talent is absolutely there.
So I get people that ask me all the time. He's definitely starting.
That I don't know. I think it's an open competition. I really do. I really, and I would even. I think Montana's starting. I don't know how much he'll play, and I don't think he'll play as much as last year. But I think he starts because leadership, good kid, all that. T-Mac is starting. I think that 3rd spot's up for grabs.
Right. Interesting. All right. I guess.
But I think Malachi plays quite a bit.
So what you're saying then is that Montana Lamonius Craig is the only one besides T-Mac that is a guaranteed starter.
I think Montana starts. Bobby Wade spoke very highly of him.
Right. Is he undersized? No, I mean he's thin, but he's not he's thin, but he's not like,
something that actually worries me, and it's not really a worry because it's not a horrible thing, is whenever we see Riley, he makes the deep ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can he run intermediate routes? Like I'm not sure he can. Like we haven't seen him, and that's not any fault of his own, but he'll like disappear a little bit and then catch like a 60-yard bomb.
Right. Now that's so. I guess we will find that out. Now with the tight end position was been asked a multitude of times. This is Roberto Miranda's spot, man. Like I know it feels weird to say when you got Kean Burnett, when you've got Dorian Thompson, when you got a bunch of different dudes. That is his spot.
They're going to rotate a ton there.
Yeah, but I like him a lot though.
Yeah, I don't even think it matters who starts because you're going to also see a lot of, based on what we saw in the spring, you're going to see a ton of 2 tight end sets. They got the tight ends in motion. I mean, they are using them big time. Miranda probably starts. I think Sam Olsen, the transfer, gets a lot of playing time. I think Powell and Dorian Thomas are probably competing to get on the field as well. But Burnett is another guy. They're deep, man. They got a lot of options. And there will be a lot of times where they go 2 back sets, 2 tight ends, things like that. Their offense is actually going to look more different than last year than people think.
Can we talk about what Marcelo Martinez says, the great Marcelo Martinez, where MLC looks and plays slow? No, that's kind of where I'm at. I'd love to be wrong, but man, there was no separation. The guy's been in college 4 years and has 800 yards. I just don't see it. I'd love to be wrong. I would love to have a my bad Montana Lamonius Craig movement. But at the end of the day, that is a.
I get it.
I just don't see it, man.
Yeah, no, I get it. And he's another guy. Like, we go back to proving in the same way. He's like Malachi Riley. The difference is he's had his opportunity. Like, Jed Fish's coaching staff loved him. Bobby Wade speaks really highly, called him a leader. And all. Like, what is it that they see, and how could they make it translate to the field?
Is it just that he's big and he looks the part, or like, is that what it is? Because on the field, again, Marcelo Martinez, you're a much smarter man than me, although you're wrong about Josh Baker. But with Marcelo Martinez, with Montana Lamonius Craig, yeah, cool blocking. All right, cool. He also whiffed on that, block against SC with the cowing play. I don't know. I just don't see it.
I don't either, but
yeah. No.
I mean, like eventually, like if 2 coaching staffs like him, there's got to be something there. There's got to be, right?
I mean, well, I guess we'll find. Now, let me ask you this: if it doesn't pan out this season, then will it be next season that we look? Because he's still got another year if he wants it.
No, he's talking like this is his last year.
Well, a lot of people talk about it like it's their last year until they see the
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't do it this year, he's
all right.
He's done.
Now, let me ask you this: BCAT, the great BCAT, is there a team with a better offense than Arizona in the Big 12? I say no.
Probably not.
Right.
Probably not.
All right.
I had a thought. I bet Noah doesn't even get first-team quarterback.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I know you're very skeptical on this.
Shedeur will. I'd put money on it. Shedeur will get first-team quarterback.
Well, all right. Let's make fun of Colorado here in a second because I'm very, very enticed by that. The great Jacob Franklin is joined as well. We are adding Jacob Franklin to the chat as we speak. He's shaking his head.
Is Jacob at the office?
Jacob is at the office.
Tell him to ask everyone at the office if there's anyone on ASU that should be a first-team Big 12. Dude, I just tweeted it. Like, I legit answer.
Okay. Joseph, we need to talk about Speedy for a second. This is a great point. By the way, extra points for calling him Scheer. This is very good how this is taken off. But I don't like – listen, the thing with Speedy is this. I believe Speedy – and again, I have no inside information on this, none whatsoever. This is me surmising as a dork sitting in my guest room right now. I would not be surprised if you look at possibly redshirting Speedy. Here's the only reason why. Because you've got a Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. You've got which merits a lot of carries. You've got Quali Conley, and he also could use another year to bulk up. All I'm saying is that I think maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing. Get him 5 games, get him a ton of stuff, Scheer, and then you can bulk him up, and then he's ready to go with Riscano.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair. I take a little, I don't know, what's the word when you take whatever?
Take umbrage.
Yeah, we haven't pushed Speedy to the side. Not on this show.
Not at all.
No, not at all. But Ja'Cory is clearly physically more developed, and so is Quali. These are grown men.
Right.
And the plan is to have them be the first. And then you got Risano from Ole Miss, who's a stud. Like,
so it's Risano?
I believe it's Risano.
All right. Sorry. Good shout out, Portland Timbers.
It's tough. Like, look, in an ideal world, Speedy plays 4 games, red shirts, puts on more weight, and pushes for a starting job next season. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if that's in the cards. And then you got to wonder, are they going to have him kick return? This coaching staff is going to look at him as being a kick returner. If he's a really good kick returner, he doesn't redshirt.
You're preaching to the choir on the kick return.
Here's the reality, right? Here's the reality. Jed Fish and his coaching staff screwed this kid over.
Big time. Talk about it. Let it
Because
why did they screw
he
him
should have
over?
redshirted right away.
Right.
And then he would have been playing
150 pounds.
He was 150 pounds. They barely used him, and they burned his red shirt for nothing.
Yeah.
And this staff, and you know who I'm talking to? Like, there's coaching members on this staff that are like, it is criminal that they didn't redshirt this kid.
Right, exactly, because he's got a world of talent. We are big fans on this show. We will take none of that. We will take none of that. By the way, Jacob Franklin, the great Jacob Franklin, ask some ASU people if there's anybody that merits being mentioned on the all Big 12 team. But I don't think there is. We're also going to add, I tagged them in Scheer's tweet. Very, very good. But also, you know what else you should tag in Scheer's tweet? OGs. Listen, here's the deal. You look at Scheer and myself. Scheer is hanging out on a couch cushion or on a couch. I am hanging out in my guest room. By the way, we got Ted Wardo here. Ted Wardo, come here for a second. Hold on.
Holy crap.
Ted Wardo, hold on. All right. Look at Ted Wardo. Now, Ted Wardo is a fan. Ted Wardo, I love how he always looks up. Ted Wardo is a fan of OGs. Well, no, he's not. He's a fan of me consuming OGs. And Ben One White is a big fan of OGs as well, the fruits and the creams, as we know. Scheer, you like OGs as well. This is true.
Yeah, I like it all.
Yes, exactly. We do not just discriminate against OGs, but again, check it out. OGs, all kinds of very, very good stuff. To learn more about OGs gummies and where you can find them, head on over to ogsbrands.com. Must be 21 plus to enjoy responsibly. Ted Wardo says, hello, everybody. Look at this. Sure, look at this. Look at this. What amazing.
My God. I met him in person, and I could barely speak.
Yes, I know he is. Yeah, you did see it, but again, check it out. OGs, all kinds of good stuff. Colorado. Now, people weren't as big on Ted Wardo having an X account as I thought they would be, so there will be no X account for Ted Wardo. He does not want it anyway. All right, Colorado. We need to make fun of Colorado for a minute. They're going to stink again. Deion's going to leave after the year, and then we never have to hear from Colorado fans again. This is correct.
Yeah, I just can't see. I know Deion says he's staying. I can't see that. Can you?
Why? Why would he stay? Also, let's make fun of. I watched that deposition, by the way. Here, turn that off. I watched that deposition, by the way, where he's talking about his kid.
Doesn't it come off like he hates his son?
Dude, he really came off as hating his son. But at the end of the day, that's still your. But I also still have a big problem with him, though. Here, your son still did that.
Yeah, like I hate your guts, and then 4 years later, he's your starting safety.
Yes, exactly.
That deposition is. I would never I would have trouble talking to my father. Like, he was very like, I want nothing to do with him. He's embarrassed me. Like,
you know what I don't like about Deion? Everything is just to bring clicks to Deion. Like the whole thing about like when the kids were acting up in class or whatever, instead of just talking to the team and saying, dude, guys, we got to stick this, be good, do this. He puts out a tweet saying you're present, but you're not really present. He's all about himself. I mean, and that's kind of what you're dealing with egomaniacs.
I mean, I was going to say, to be fair, he's always, even when he was playing and had no kids, he was always about himself.
That's true. He's far more interested in making sure that his diamond encrusted gold necklace is blinged out as much as possible.
I'm really curious I think I know he doesn't care about legacy, but man, if he let's say they don't make a bowl this year, they got a small chance of making a bowl, 6 wins, whatever. Does he leave? Because if he leaves, he's a bad coach.
Well, I think, dude, is his roster going to are you going to have a better quarterback next season?
He's handled the whole roster situation. This isn't a Deion Sanders thing. I've been very vocal in this. You cannot build a winning roster through the transfer portal. You have to pick and choose. You can't just do it all through the portal. Like they don't even recruit high school kids.
Right. I mean, and I don't think it's going to work. Not only do I not think it's going to work. Oh, yes, sunglasses as well, too. Got to have the really, really cool sunglasses as well. So Colorado fans go away then, we believe, by this time next year. This is true.
Yeah, and I'd be curious who they hired. If they have to hire a replacement for Deion, they spent a lot of money on Deion. I'd be curious because that program's, if Deion leaves, and I'm not Colorado
Eric
fans.
Eric Bieniemy.
They hate us, but you're going from Deion to Mr. Personality to Eric Bieniemy, who's got no personality whatsoever.
You know what I love about the whole Deion thing? By the way, Jacob Franklin, this is going to be a clip we will put tomorrow. I will give you the timestamps and everything, Jacob Franklin. But you know what I love too about the Colorado media, the upright ones that not like fans like you and me, but like the actual media. I still love how they refer to him as Coach Prime.
I could never. And even like we have guys here locally, like Lev and Brian. There's no way, no world that those two would call Deion Coach Prime.
It's amazing. And these are some of the same righteous people that are like, we do media stuff the right way. And then one guy tried to say one time, he goes, well, it's because he's accomplished so much. No, dude, nope. You're just intimidated by him. Not doing it. Sorry, not doing it. Can't do it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I can't think. A national guy definitely wouldn't do it.
I mean, yes, it bothers me when U of A basketball. I kind of agree. I get
that. Yeah, I get that.
I kind of agree with the great Dennis Walsh as well on that one, to be honest with you. I don't really like that one at all. Coach Windchime. Kate Harrop, this is very funny. You should join the chat more often, Kate Harrop. All right, now, back to Arizona, though, for a second. You created a lot of buzz on the show on Wednesday, inadvertently, Scheer, inadvertently, and I've been getting DMs from people, and not the kind of DMs I like either.
What'd I do?
You said that, well, Noah will probably be gone in a year or whatever. Scheer, you got everybody thinking that Noah after this year is just going to leave.
No. And I explained this on the pod. So Noah's a redshirt sophomore, right?
He's got 3 years.
He could technically leave after this year.
He could have left after last year. Yeah, for sure. He could leave whenever he wants.
All I say is you just never know. And because you never know, you have to have a ready quarterback room. Am I expecting Noah to leave after this year? No. But again, like, who's to say T-Mac doesn't leave? Like, T-Mac leaves, Jonah leaves, and someone comes in and offers Noah Fifita $5 million. And you know what I mean? You just don't – you got to prepare for all options. That's more.
All right, but you're not calling for Noah Fifita to leave.
No. It was more of, look, things could happen, and you better be prepared.
Yes. All right. So that's pretty much all right. So you're not you were not saying Noah Fifita, we need to get you out of here as quickly as possible.
No.
That is not what you said. Okay.
No, I like Cole Tannenbaum, but
we like Cole Tannenbaum, and we got to talk about the quarterback again. I know that he ain't going nowhere.
Hey.
Again, when I tell you all that I rely on you, I mean it. Just like Scheer relied on me for his Big 12 media poll, I
just want to point out, when you called me, you had Shelby on your side yelling at me.
Oh, dude, this is what when I found out that you were not backing the A on your first media poll. And here's the other thing, Scheer. You're a legend in Big 12 circles with a little bit of an assist from me. But anyway.
She was mad because she was more mad at not having Noah Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, dude.
You don't even know who Ollie Gordon is.
Dude, come on. These people don't know who Noah Fifita is. He ain't going nowhere.
Noah Ware. That's good.
That is really good. That is really good. Some people stole my Noah's Ark thing. I don't like that.
Yeah.
That was very good. But either way, Scheer, you did good work. Now, let's talk about some under the radar players that could possibly be all Big 12. You and I talked about this as well. I believe that Wendell Moy Noah's Ark is not bad. Stop. I believe that Wendell Moy could be a sleeper all-conference pick on the offensive line, Jason Scheer. Wendell Moy is very good and probably has an NFL future.
Yeah, I like Wendell Moy quite a bit. Are you relating it to like the first team or just?
Yeah. I'm just saying. We're going to talk about some outside the box all-conference candidates.
It wouldn't shock me if he made it. I considered him. I don't think he's one of the best 5 linemen in the league, but he's an NFL caliber lineman. I think that because of Jonah, I think Jonah kind of overshadows him. Yeah. I think that Jonah is gone, assuming Wendell's still in Arizona. He'll be the guy. And guys, when I say assuming they're still in Arizona, let's be real. This is college football now. Like you're assuming everyone is on a roster. I go year to year now. That's my mentality. It's just me. I fully, you can do.
There's no big 3. It's just me.
Yeah. I go year to year, right? Because we just don't know. Like and that's, I don't mean it like these guys are leaving. You don't know.
Hey, Dennis Walsh making fun of me. Actually, this is very, very good. Scheer is a Big 12 legend. This is true. Scheer, do you have Dennis Walsh muted?
No, not at all.
Dennis Walsh, tweet at him right now, Dennis Walsh. Dennis Walsh, tweet at him right now. We need to see exactly what that is. Okay, now let's talk another guy that I think has some outside the box possibilities here. Dalton Johnson. Dalton Johnson, I believe, is one of the more appreciated players on this entire roster. Dalton Johnson is a player who he stabilizes the secondary. He's the best safety on the team. I know, my bad gunner, but Dalton Johnson, and let's be honest here, Dalton Johnson should have played the previous year too, probably over Christian Young. He's really, really good. Christian Young's dad can take a shot at you for that one.
I think I'm blocked by both.
Good.
Which is crazy because all I said was he wasn't very good.
He's not.
It's always weird to me when players block. The greatest one ever is I said Trevin Wade years ago. Well, got lucky because he was in the right place on an interception. And he DM'd me and just tore me up. I was like, no, it wasn't the right play. I didn't get lucky. This is skill, blah, blah, blah. And he literally messaged me the day following and apologized. Like, Scheer, I have no idea why I messaged you that.
You know what I didn't like about Trevin Wade? Every time he was beat or somebody got beat, he always had his hands up in the air like, oh, wasn't my fault.
And I saw Trevin this past year. Great dude. It was like reacting. It's always weird when players, because you think to yourself, like, you're going to make it to the NFL and you get torn apart, man.
Well, the best was that better than when I was doing a post-game show? And I think you were on the post-game show. And literally Kylan Boswell likes like 13 straight of my tweets, like within 8 minutes of having a 0-0-0 game.
Like, you think like the only professional athlete that I could think of that searches his name on Twitter is Kevin Durant, right?
Correct. Yes.
Exactly. Oh, that like responds to things. So otherwise, it's part of the territory. But no, with Dalton Johnson, I think the thing about Dalton that gets overlooked is like he's not going to make the super athletic, spectacular top 10 Sports Center plays, but he doesn't make mistakes. He really doesn't. Like he is a very solid safety veteran guy that you can depend on every single game.
So there's a coach on the staff who I've become friendly with who when you told me that it hit a snag, I messaged him and he said no snag. And so Scheer or something.
I like my source on that one.
All right, fair enough. All right, but he did tell me, he's like, I don't know why this guy wasn't playing the previous year. He's like, this kid's really, really good. I mean, he wasn't talking about last year. He was talking about the year before. He said, this kid's really, really good. He said he is the most reliable player outside of maybe Jacob Manu on the entire defense.
That's the word, reliable. And look, that's a lot more valuable. Like, that's not an insult when he's just reliable. In college football, if you can get reliable players, that's a big deal.
Yes, exactly.
And I think he's underrated. I really do.
Yes, so that's somebody that you and I are both in lockstep on these two, Jason Scheer.
Great dude, too. Great dude.
Oh, he's an awesome guy. Exactly. Yeah. And all right, now, I want to ask you some statistical things, but first, Jacob Franklin generally gets mad at me. It's generally 3 to 4 times a day, but on bad days, it's about 6 to 7, 8 times per day. It's not pleasant. Jacob Franklin will hop in here right now as I see him with an inquisitive look. Hello, Jacob Franklin.
You make me seem like I am a complete jerk.
No, Jacob Franklin is my favorite person at PHNX, and it's not even close.
Shelby yesterday, true story, Shelby yesterday goes, man, Jacob just hates you too.
Oh, no. Dude,
for good reason.
Jacob really is the man, but guess what? I lured Jacob onto the show by talking about him there because I knew he would have to come on to defend himself. Jacob Franklin,
what am I defending myself for? I get you your links at 10 o'clock the night before every night.
No. Jacob
I start
Franklin,
work at 6 a.m. and I work until 10 p.m. just for you. I have a right to be mad at you.
You should be mad at me. I never said you didn't have a right to be mad at me. You should be mad at me more than you are, Jacob Franklin.
Okay, but why am I on the show right now?
All right, but here's where what's the over-under on how many times Jacob gets mad at Mike in a day?
I'd say 2.5.
Like I said, no, joking aside, Jacob's my favorite person in the company by a mile. Jacob is the man. But Jacob Franklin has to get on me from time to time because I do something where I'll look at the reads a couple days before, and sometimes I won't refresh them. Guess what I have done the last 3 days, Jacob Franklin?
Messed up the reads.
What's that?
Before we went live, I had to correct you on your reads.
Nope. Not true, Jacob Franklin. I am waiting until right before the show to look at the reads to make sure that they have not been updated. Okay. So yesterday, flawless, or no, you had to, no, because it wasn't flawless because I was looking at it right before the show started. Today, though, I knew that Jacob Franklin wasn't, was going to be in a big wig meeting, so I did it myself. Guess what? The OG's Flavoring Fridays, OG's Reads, and Chicken and Pickle, my friend. How about that?
There you go, Mike.
All right, I'm very excited. Now, Jacob Franklin, have you been to Chicken and Pickle?
Yeah, the food is top notch.
Is it elite?
I was gonna say elite, but then I remembered you making fun of me for 30 and unders using the word elite too much, and now I'm self-conscious because of you.
When did elite become a thing? Scheer, your kids, do they say elite?
No, not at all.
But they're younger though. So
it's my generation. It's the 25-ish age range.
What generation are you in?
I was born in 1987, which honestly is probably the worst year to be. 1997.
Oh.
It was the worst. It's the worst year to be born in terms of like which generation is which, because oftentimes like the 1997 babies, like we get split between two different generations.
Oh, interesting. Over under on Mike crop dusting the studio. No, that's why I stay at home. But Chicken and Pickle, back to Chicken and Pickle for a second, though. Jacob Franklin very much likes Chicken and Pickle. Head to chickenandpickle.com to see all the fun you can have at the Glendale location, my friends. All right, now look at all this stuff. Do you like free food? Join the rewards program and begin treating yourself. Visit the app store and search Chicken and Pickle. Oh, they have their own app. That's fantastic.
We have a trivia night, Mike.
Mike, we'll be in town that day.
You absolutely should go to the trivia night.
We should go to the trivia night. Sure, we should go to the trivia night. We should tell the U of A players that they should not be playing in the evening.
I'm actually getting there. Isn't that the night, the weekend of Section 7?
Yeah. What is it? What day is that? What day did I say?
Mike, it's on the screen. It's on the screen.
Oh, 20th. Thursday, June 20. I'm getting in on. Are you getting in on the 20th, Scheer, or the 21st?
I'm getting in that night. The night of the 20th.
Yeah, you should come to the trivia night.
Jacob Franklin, would you allow us to sit next to you?
I mean, I might have some friends there that I'd probably rather sit with.
Wow. After all of me sticking up for Jacob, after all the sticking up for me I did.
He doesn't even have a table, and he already said that table's booked.
Right. By the way, Jacob Franklin, very good point. Kevin WN. This is very, very good. Jacob Franklin, we went from up here. I still don't like this thing that we have going because I need to. Where
are we going with this?
What's that?
Where are you going with this?
More people jumped in once Jacob Franklin hit the scene with the Mini 14. Jacob Franklin, very, very good. Now, one thing though that you need to clear up here, because some people called me a liar, and then we'll let you. You'll be dismissed. But some people called me a liar. I have this new thing that I see on my screen for viewers, where it says right now that there's 315 viewers.
Correct. But if I told you, if you hold your mouse over it, it breaks it down for you.
Correct. So there's 150 lives right now, 148 lives right now. But last week I was putting out that there were 400, and I had many, many people say that I was a scandalous liar. Jacob Franklin, tell them this is not true.
It says it on the back end, like technically with Twitter, there are 315 people watching right now.
Wow. Man, I appreciate all of you guys. That is fun.
But if you're watching on Twitter and you want to engage in the best chat, hop on over to the PHNX Sports YouTube.
You think maybe one of these 300 people would let us sit at their table?
Yeah.
Oh,
probably.
You know what's amazing too about Jacob Franklin? We were bonding over Nebraska. We were talking about Runzas and all of this, and he comes on and he says we could not sit with him. This is
Mike. We should go to this thing as Arizona people and win trivia night.
Dude, we should walk right in there.
Yeah.
And then
I'll wear Arizona gear.
Give Jacob Franklin the bird as we're walking out. What say you?
Just walking like bosses. Erica, we expect you there as well.
Yeah, Erica not liking to lose is just kind of a bad excuse for not going.
Oh,
yeah, don't lose.
Hey, we got some good news. Guess who is in discussion to possibly start producing some Merc shows for the great Erica L. Day?
Jacob Franklin?
Nope.
I already do that, sure.
He already does that. Somebody much smaller than Jacob Franklin. Much
You?
Me.
Oh no,
Dude,
oh,
me
that's
on
a horrible idea.
No, it's a great idea.
No, no, it's not.
Jacob Franklin, it's a good idea.
You'll go on air whenever you want, and you'll keep calling it the MNBA.
No, I'll call it the WNBA.
By the way, speaking of MNBA, Shelby on her own goes, "Hey, are you gonna watch the MNBA game tonight?"
You know, I've actually had two very loyal people to the show tell me that, listen, man, we like most of your bits. You said, you've got to stop the MNBA thing. He said, I cringe each time I hear it. Jacob Franklin, what say you? Should I continue to do this?
I think you should continue to silence the haters and call it the MNBA.
Yes, that's all I want. Well,
you should grow the beard back, but that's a whole different. Leah says no. Leah does not think you should grow the beard back.
Yeah, no, I was going to say Erica L. Day doesn't like the beard either. She said that I look like a garden gnome.
I don't like the beard.
Yeah, you don't like it is a thick red beard though.
Yeah, but it feels like when we go to events, it feels like I picked you up off the street and then I just wanted your opinion for basketball.
It's like a Make-A-Wish thing. Oh, by the way, Jacob Franklin, we're up to 328 since you joined. Just you being here, Jacob Franklin.
Jacob brings the people.
Your presence.
I've kind of overstayed my welcome, I feel.
No,
he's blushing.
What's that?
Jacob looks like he's blushing.
Jacob is blushing. Jacob, are you blushing?
Yeah, you guys flatter. The chat is flattering me.
By the way, Joseph.
And I do listen to this album, by the way. Somebody said I don't listen to Mac Miller Faces. Rest in peace, Mac Miller. His albums are great.
You know where he's from? Say it.
Crete, Nebraska.
No. Say it. Jacob Franklin.
I don't know.
Smelly, rainy Seattle. Will you say smelly, rainy Seattle?
I know Macklemore's from Seattle.
Oh, Macklemore's
I was going to say Mac Miller's.
Yeah, dude, Mac Miller's from Pittsburgh, dude.
Oh, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, somewhere over there.
Smelly, rainy. But will you say smelly, rainy Seattle? Do it. Come on, Jacob Franklin.
Come on, Jacob.
Oh, Jacob Franklin told us to buzz off. Hey, you want to know something funny? Joseph with a very good point. The Merc Show could use someone like Mike who could use someone who stays on topic like Mike. That would be very, very good. When Scheer and I go over the outline the night before, and we never deviate. We check, recheck, and then check the outline again. This is
absolutely
true.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
I did want to ask you something, though. I asked you this on the phone, and I think it's fair to ask. By the way, Jacob Franklin was a little pep in the step we needed, dude. This is amazing how much Jacob Franklin brings into the scene. All right. Now, unlike Erica L. Day, we're not going to go for an hour and 25 minutes because we're going to respect Jacob Franklin's time.
For an hour and 25 minutes?
Yeah, dude. Big time.
Come on, Erica. Good Lord.
And I even messaged Erica and I said, come on, dude. Jacob Franklin does have a family. I mean, come on. It was not it was not good. Kylan Boswell, I got a question for you. Is Kylan Boswell looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger now a bigger indictment on him or on Tommy Lloyd or both?
Both. It's probably both. But I mean, yeah, we don't know how much weight he gained because that pick is from April 30th. So we don't know how much.
Come on, it doesn't. I mean, it's not that far off.
He clearly wasn't in great shape. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. At the end of the day, you can lead a horse to water, Mike, but you can't make it drink. And Kylan Boswell was given everything that he needed to be given in terms of strength and conditioning and all that. And maybe look, he did say to us when Arizona lost the Clemson that he realized there's a lot of things he had to change, and maybe he went to Illinois and kind of woke up.
All right. Either way, like I said, I look at that picture and I just get very, very upset. But also at the same time, though, don't you look at other people in the locker room and be like, man, that guy looks like he lifts weights. I don't.
Yeah.
All right. Either way. All right, Scheer. Where can they find you doing your stuff?
WildcatAuthority.com. We have a 60% off sale right now. Wildcat Scoop podcast with Shelby and at Jason Scheer on Twitter and Circle K.
And picked him up at Circle K. By the way, I will be going. I went to Circle K last night. I will probably be going back there this morning. Have you tried these beef sticks?
No, I can't.
They're actually very, very scrumptious. They're good.
All right, maybe I'll try one.
All right. Now, all right. We got to talk a little bit of basketball. Good point, Dirty Dancer. We talk basketball. I always get beat up for talking too much basketball, though.
No, it's an all football show. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, dude. We just said that we had a couple basketball notes. By the way, Will Riley, so far so good on Will Riley. This is correct.
Yeah, as long as he's at Alabama now. Obviously, he didn't commit to Kentucky. That's a big dub. We'll see what happens next week.
That's what we want. Dirty Dancer, be nice to me. Be nice to me. Now, Cora update. Cora is doing very, very stellar.
Yeah, she's doing good. If anything, she's more loving than she was. It's kind of funny, but we have a doctor appointment for Cora in a couple weeks, so hopefully everything looks good.
Ooh, big thing.
Now, Cora hates Erica, that's for sure. Erica and my mom. Cora hates both.
Why would she hate the person that did this for free for her?
I don't know. It's weird. Cora absolutely hates, but Cammie loves Erica. So that's
you did pay Erica all day though.
Yeah, I sent her nudes. And,
I didn't write the show. Yes, Dirty Dancer. I apologize. I do apologize. This would be on me, not on Jacob Franklin. All right. But on that note, we will have an audio only edition tomorrow, and it will be very, very good. And then starting next week for the audio, there's going to be a bonus episode on the weekends. Guess who called and said that? They'd like to do a once a week bonus episode with me?
Who?
Anthony Totri.
That wouldn't be bad. A little ASU versus Arizona show.
Yes, exactly. Totri's on vacation right now, but not Benwin White.
Benwin White?
Yes, but Totri better be ready. You better have those shady rays, and you better have the hair perfectly coiffed, as the kids would say. Yes. By the way, I was watching a episode about John Gotti last night, and they used the term coiffed like 35 times. So whenever I see somebody with Totri hair, I'm going to use the term coiffed. Does Jacob Franklin count as that's not coiffed?
No, not at all.
So coiffed is basically like I'm trying to think. Coiffed. Who's somebody with coiffed hair? Not you, Scheer. Who is somebody?
I don't know.
Before we sign off, we need to find somebody. Give us an example of somebody that has coiffed hair.
Caleb Love shaved his head, by the way. Speaking of hair.
Yeah, I saw that. It's no longer coiffed.
Yeah.
Sam Hartman, coiffed hair. Oh yeah, Sam Hartman.
Yep. Yeah,
that's a good one. Coiffed, my friends. Coiffed. How do you spell coiffed?
I don't know.
No, don't look at it. Hold on. Hold on. We're gonna get off in a second here, people. But I'm entertaining myself at the moment. Coiffed. I'm gonna say it is COIFFED.
No.
How is it spelled? Coiffed.
I don't know.
Can you look
COIF? COIF.
Isn't that's what I said?
Is it? I don't know. It's short for I don't know. Coifer. I don't know.
Coiford?
Coifer. COIF.
Tyler Loop's hair. Does Tyler Loop have good hair?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so it's coiffed. Erica L. Day, message him and say that you. All right, before we sign off, Erica L. Day, message Caleb Love and ask him why he got rid of his coiffed hair.
Next week's show, we're going to discuss Tommy Lloyd to UConn. So that'll be our basketball talk.
Do we think that Danny Hurley is going? I don't think he's going to pull the trigger. I don't think he's going to do it.
I do. I think he is.
Ooh.
I think he is. We're going to find out probably within 48 hours.
I was going to say Jay Wright to UConn.
It'll be Kamani or Murray.
All right. Well, either way.
They don't have a choice. It's too late.
Don't you bring back Kevin Ollie at some point? National championship expertise?
You say Kevin Ollie. I say Kevin O'Neal.
Ooh. Hey, if you're UConn.
They can't even say it. Kevin O'Neal, very successful back east.
If you are UConn and you have either Kevin O'Neal or Kevin Ollie as your options, who do you hire?
Why not both? Luke Murray is going to need an assistant with experience. Why not Kevin O'Neal?
Oh, does Tommy call any UConn players?
It's too late.
Late.
I will say maybe if they miss out on Will Riley. But
Kevin WN, very good. Jed will interview and deny it. Jed Fish does Jed Fish interview for the UConn?
Jed Fish interview for UConn? Stay tuned.
All right, guys. We did a lot of nonsense here. Oh, coiffed. See, I told you. Back the A-Ray coming to the rescue as he always does. Told you. Coiffed. Jed Fish maybe had coiffed hair before he went to smelly, rainy Seattle. All right. But we need to get off the air. We don't want to be like Erica L. Day that makes Jacob Franklin work the entire, works for 39 hours, unlike,
Hour and 45-minute show, Erica. Really?
All right. But for the great Jason Scheer, everybody on there, you were fantastic. Very much appreciate you. I was all over the place. The ADHD was more than going. My mom would tell me that I need to settle down. She's wrong. I will not listen to her. But for Jason Scheer, I am merely Mike Luke, the great Jacob Franklin behind the scenes. You have been listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.